going to cut around. Now I don't need to save this strap piece. This doesn't really mean anything to me. What I want to do though, before I throw it away, is measure it. Because this will tell me how long the strap is in the front. So I'm measuring, I'm going to call it 6.5 inches. And I'm going to write on this pattern piece, so I don't forget, just someplace on here, front strap, 6.5 inches. Once I have that recorded, I'm okay to throw this guy away. Okay? Because I don't need to cut out a piece like that. I just need a full strap length, and I'm going to lop it off from my binding. Okay, but I do need to save this spacing. This is going to become something in a little bit. Now for this pattern piece here. We're going to leave the side dart alone. And the way we're going to mark the side dart, since this is a pattern we sew from, is we're going to put a punch hole 1/2 inch within the dart. And we're going to circle that guy in red. Okay, so the side part's done. Okay, we didn't have to do anything there. The other dart, we need to open up and close our,
just slashing and spreading.
so don't cut along the dart leg lines, cut along the new lines that we,
So to the apex.
to the apex, and then you'll leave the little thread of,
So we're closing the waist.
we're closing the contouring dart up there. So I'm just going to cut out the whole waist intake.
So all to the apex.
All to the apex, yep. The original dart itself, the dart vanishing point doesn't mean anything now. We just needed the notches at the bottom. So this guy can get thrown away. This guy at the top gets shut, and we do have a little bit of blending to do. Right? Take that shut.
Does it matter which side of the leg you cut on top?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it's going to go away. It's going to go away. Okay, because this is going to get taped shut permanently. And now we can see the waist dart is now bigger than it used to be. Alright, it's a lot bigger than it used to be. Now at the top, we just need to blend out that thing, right? Nothing's really getting sewn up to there except for the strap. You know, which actually, you know what? Good question, Ruth. I think I'm gonna fold it shut. That way, it's kind of centered. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna leave it like that. We're just gonna blend this out. Just know you've got to bind this later. So think about what you would like to sew. You probably wouldn't want a really sharp corner there. So find a place on your French curve and blend out the weirdness. Okay, so I blended out the weirdness there. We're going to chop off any little stuff hanging off. Okay, then this will get mounted on brown paper. And we're going to add in seam allowance. So I want to reiterate, when we add in seam allowance to this kind of thing, how do we get this shape down here? Fold it first, okay, then cut, then open it, and there you go. We are going to be backing off on that dart. So how much did we back off our dart on the original? Did we? I think we did 3/4. We did 3/4. So we're going to back off from the apex 3/4. We won't put a punch hole there. That's the vanishing point of the dart. This is a pattern we're sewing from. What we will do is we'll put a punch hole 1/2 inch within that, and we'll circle that in red.
So say that again, we're shortening the waist dart from the apex
We're back.
by 3, we're backing it
We're
off
backing
by
it off by 3/4 of an
3/4.
inch, just like we did on the outer one.
Yeah.
Just like we did on the outer one.
What dictates that again?
Usually when you have one dart, you go closer. When you have two darts, you back off a little bit more, and that'll round the bust even more. And yeah. So, and there's a range, and the book listed the range. I think we did like 1.25 inches to the right.
Oh, that's right.
And you could have done 1 inch to 1.5 inches, and we kind of picked the middle one. So the more darts you have, the more you're able to back off. Okay, so this guy will be notching the dart legs, we'll be notching the top and the bottom of the side seam. We're going to be notching the seam allowance at the bottom here. You could notch the seam allowance at the top here, but we're going to be binding it, so I don't think we need a notch there. Yeah, yes, we're going to be putting 1/4 up here. Okay, so I'll have this hanging up so you can see where that guy goes. So that's that. I've written down my strap length. That piece is done. This piece, this facing piece, we're going to save till after the skirt is done so we know how long the rest of it is. So that piece is done. While this is out, I'm going to show you the back one because the back is super easy, fast, and satisfying. So the back one it's a solid, almost a rectangle, kind of a wedge-shaped rectangle, and there are no darts. Notice that? It's a really fast piece to sew because you don't have to worry about darts. If you ever are able to cut a piece lower than a dart vanishing point, you can eliminate the dart altogether. Okay, so we're going to be having our piece go just below that level, which if we cut off the tip of a triangle, the tip of a dart, it'll allow us to shut the dart, and I'll show you how that works. Do this I'll hang up so you've got notes. Okay, here's my back piece.
Did you say just if you can cut below the vanishing point or the 1/2 inch below?
Vanishing point. Any portion of it. If you're lowering the neckline to below that, you can get rid of the dart altogether.
Super scoop.
Super scoop. All right. So this guy, if we look at this piece, I've lowered it by about 1 inch or so, which would allow us to get rid of it. But just to kind of prove my point, let's fold this dart up. So this is just an object lesson here. I haven't drafted my line yet. Okay, so if I folded this dart up, this is cupping up, right, or down, depending on. And if I cut, and I know I need this little bit so I can measure the 1.5 inches, so I'm going to cut a different way so it won't interrupt what I need to do. If I cut just even that little tip off of the dart, and then continue, this will now lay flat. The little dart is here. That angle that's creating the wedge is here. This is now flat, and I don't need to have it anymore. So if I cut the tip off any dart, the pattern piece will lay flat. So maybe practice on your own if you're like, nuh-uh. Just try it. Fold it up, cut it, it'll flatten out. All right, so let me undo that because I need it open right now.
We just love folding our paper darts.
You're going to get good at it. You're going to get good at it. Okay, before I cut it out though, I need a contour guideline. Do you remember this? We have a contour guideline back here. And we have one up at the shoulder as well. Because we've got to figure out the strap length in the back. It's going to be one continuous strap, but we need to add the measurement from the front to the measurement in the back. All right, so our contour in the back, what happened was we extended the center line of our dart that was going through the center. We extended it all the way up to this shoulder cross grain line, and then we reconnected those dots. So we need that contour line for back here because yes, we're just chopping that off, but underneath